Maki, do you know the Gundam that can disappear? Let me give you a hint. The overall body color is primarily black. A Gundam that specializes in vanishing, characterized by its black color. You might have thought of the Gundam Death Kit from Gundam Wing. Right, indeed, it's also a ZETA disappearing. That's certainly a valid answer. But believe it or not, there's another Gundam that shares the same characteristics. It's this mobile suit called the BLITZ Gundam, which appears in Gundam Seed. BLITZ is a German word that means lightning. The name of the mobile suit implies that it strikes like lightning into enemy lines. Today, I'll take on the challenge of explaining about the BLITZ Gundam. The BLITZ Gundam is a mobile suit manufactured by the Atlantic Federation, one of the organizations within the Earth Alliance. They sought cooperation from Mirage Inc., a public corporation of the Orb Union, which had data on Zaft's GN. This collaboration led to the creation of the 5 prototype mobile suits known as the G-Weapons. This development took place in the resource satellite Heliopolis under the jurisdiction of Orb and was conducted in secrecy. The BLITZ Gundam is the third unit among the prototype machines known as the GAT-X series. The X series first developed an orthodox structure, referred to as the 100 type frame. From this frame, a modified structure, known as the 200 type frame, was created, which allowed for special equipment to be integrated while also providing additional space and durability. The 2 in BLITZ Gundam's model number indicates that it uses this 200 type frame. There is no available documentation on why the number 7 was used. It's natural to think that there were several designs and plans for other suits that were abandoned before the BLITZ Gundam was created. This interpretation suggests that the BLITZ Gundam was born out of considerable hardship and numerous iterations. One notable feature is its innovative optical camouflage system called the Mirage Colloid Stealth. I will explain more about the Mirage Colloid in the next section. The 200 type frame was developed to facilitate this equipment. The BLITZ Gundam was completed with the 200 type frame and Mirage Colloid. But it has a drawback: it lost the ability to equip fixed weaponry. On the body itself, for example, it does not have a head-mounted Vulcan cannon. The Earth Alliance might have considered this a significant disadvantage. The Forbidden Gundam, a later model based on the 200 type frame, does come equipped with a head-mounted Vulcan cannon and unmounted machine guns. Like the other 4 prototype Gundams, the BLITZ does not have atmospheric flight capabilities. Its armor color is primarily black. Many documents suggest that this was chosen for its stealth capabilities and its synergy with the Mirage Colloid. There is no explicit documentation about the color of the phase shift armor. However, piecing together fragmentary information, we can infer that black indicates lower strength. There is a mobile suit called Testament Gundam appearing in the spin-off Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Destiny Astray. This unit has been modified to adjust the voltage to the phase shift armor, thus enhancing its physical strength during this process. The color of the unit changes from white to red. This became the basis for the variable phase shift armor appearing in Gundam Seed Destiny. When the Impulse Gundam, equipped with variable phase shift armor, uses close combat equipment, the color of the armor changes to red. Conversely, when using equipment for ranged combat, it changes to dark green or black. Considering these facts, we can surmise that the BLITZ Gundam uses black phase shift armor, sacrificing strength to conserve battery life. This is particularly crucial as the Mirage Colloid consumes a significant amount of power. The Mirage Colloid is a special system that renders Gundam mechs nearly invisible. Interestingly, the specifics of this system tend to vary from time to time, leading to frequent debates among the more hardcore fans. The most commonly depicted setup is something like this. The system deploys a particulate gas around the mech with properties akin to microprises blocking visuals, radio waves and infrared radiation. This makes the mech invisible to radar and cameras. It even vanishes from human sight. Quite a remarkable technology, isn't it? The senior Gundam death sketch had the characteristic of disappearing from the sensors of mobile suits, but it had the weakness of being visible to the human eye. Of course, instances of a human being defeating a mobile suit in combat are extremely rare. Whether or not this is considered a weakness can be a point of debate. The BLITZ Gundam, on the other hand, becomes invisible even to the human eye. So, what kind of settings are mentioned in other documents? Some resources depict the Mirage Colloid as free particles that carry a charge. Sounds rather complex, doesn't it? It is said to exhibit stealth capabilities by bending and interfering with electromagnetic waves of various frequencies. What about other documents? Some suggest that the particles of Mirage Colloid enveloping the entire mech act as a lens. They are described as having the property to absorb radar waves and distort light. We humans perceive objects by the light refracted from them. Without light, we can't see anything. Just like in complete darkness, the BLITZ Gundam can presumably induce a similar phenomenon around itself. However, the Mirage Colloid isn't perfect and has its drawbacks. While using Mirage Colloid, you cannot use the phase shift armor, which is a defense system. This is due to the huge amount of power required to operate the Mirage Colloid. This massive power consumption also makes prolonged operations difficult. The operational time of Mirage Colloid is stated to be 85 minutes, although some sources claim it's only 80 minutes. At first glance, it seems like plenty of time. However, in actual combat, there is a need to engage in combat using beam rifles and beam sabers. Power is also required for the thrusters and drive system that move the mech itself. While Mirage Colloid is powerful, it is also quite challenging to use. Additionally, there can be instances where it becomes possible to detect heat sources or movement. As a countermeasure to heat detection, a distinctive feature is that the covers encasing the mech's thrusters are enlarged. Even when the mech becomes invisible, it doesn't physically disappear. It cannot execute combat methods that physically evade an enemy's attack like the 00 Razor that appears in Gundam 00. Understanding that the phase shift armor is off while using Mirage Colloid should help you understand the considerable risk involved. There were even scenes where the Archangel's crew, understanding these features, calculated the position of the invisible BLITZ Gundam and launched an attack. Moreover, it can't be used underwater as the colloid particles would leak out. Although many aquatic mobile suits often require stealth, equipping them with Mirage Colloid proves to be a challenge. Although it's a minor detail, the official name of the equipment used by the BLITZ Gundam is Mirage Colloid Stealth, indicating stealth technology that utilizes the properties of Mirage Colloid. Actually, Mirage Colloid is also used in the mechanism that creates the blade of a beam saber. The Forbidden Gundam, which is developed later, is equipped with armor that deflects beam energy. This armor applies the technology of Mirage Colloid. It's thanks to the Mirage Colloid's properties that the Destiny Gundam from Gundam Seed Destiny can create afterimages. However, after the story of Gundam Seed concludes, The military use of Mirage Colloid is prohibited. Related technologies are also sealed away. The technology was so powerful that countries agreed to stop its use through mutual discussions. Yet as many of you may know, the use of Mirage Colloid technology continues in secret. In Gundam Seed Destiny, there are numerous examples of its use, such as warships and huge beam cannons that can bend, and even technologies that can hide the appearance of fortresses. Let's go through the armaments of the BLITZ Gundam. First up is the offensive and defensive system called Trick Arrows. This is the name for the entire experimental weapon system mounted on the right arm. Its true form is a shield equipped with 3 weapons: a beam saber, a 15 high-energy beam rifle, and a lancer dart. By consolidating all weapons into one place, it allows for combat without needing to switch equipment. This results in the ability to execute swift and appropriate attacks. However, a drawback arose if you lose the Trick Arrows. Your combat capabilities diminish significantly all at once. Let's review the weapons equipped on the Trick Arrows. First is the 15 high-energy beam rifle. This weapon is infamous for its specs changing according to various sources. There is also a setting where it is not a beam rifle, but a laser rifle. It doesn't possess a particularly strong output, and because its caliber is smaller than other Gundams beam rifles, its destructive power is relatively low. In the story, there was a scene where the BLITZ Gundam attached to the Archangel caused an explosion after firing 5 shots. The BLITZ Gundam's main purpose is surprise attacks, so fighting enemies head-on is unexpected. You might wonder, isn't it strange that it's weak even though it's called high energy? That might indeed be true. But consider this beam rifle was an innovative weapon at the time of its development. While it's a high-output weapon compared to traditional ones, it has weaker output compared to the beam rifles of its Gundam siblings. Viewing it in this way, it isn't so strange. It's been depicted destroying the Earth Alliance's mobile armors in one hit also. The Archangel is a battleship with laminated armor, a special technology providing high defense against beams. Next is the beam saber. Many sources state that it's the same as those on other Gundams. When the BLITZ Gundam appeared in model kits and action figures, a gimmick was added that allowed it to be detached from the Trick Arrows. It's a minor point, but it's not a weapon that generates a blade from the beam rifle's muzzle. It's a weapon equipped with a beam saber separate from the beam rifle. It's a weapon that is often misunderstood as similar to the beam saber used by the ZETA Gundam. To be honest, when I first saw the BLITZ Gundam, I mistakenly thought it was a claw machine equipped with a beam saber, like the ZETA Gundams. Then there's the cool-looking weapon called the Lancer Dart. It falls into the category of a tri-barrel super high-speed penetrator propelled by rocket propulsion. It parries opponents and deals damage to their internal structure by detonating. It's distinctive in that it's not a beam weapon, but a weapon with built-in propellant. Its compatibility with Mirage Colloid is excellent because it doesn't consume the BLITZ Gundam's energy. However, being able to equip only 3 shots at a time is a significant drawback. From this, it can be understood that the BLITZ Gundam is designed to serve its role in short battles. There is also a distinctive weapon equipped on the left arm, the opposite of the right arm equipped with Trick Arrows. This is the wired rocket anchor called Grier. It's a weapon that can capture enemies or disrupt their stance. This rocket anchor is not a beam weapon either, and its energy consumption is relatively low. The specs say that it's possible to change the trajectory after launch using boosters equipped on the hull. Other references suggests that it's also useful for mobility or anchoring oneself to the terrain. The glider is not just for attacks, it also proves helpful for stealth operations. What role does the BLITZ Gundam play in the narrative? This mobile suit was completed at the resource colony Heliopolis, but was immediately seized by the Artemis Maki team. An ace pilot named Nicola Amalfi, dressed in a red uniform, was assigned to the BLITZ Gundam, which was immediately put into active combat. In fact, almost all of the data on the GAT-X series had been analyzed by the time it was brought back to the soft warship. This analysis was what enabled the Baku, a quadrupedal mobile suit featured in the narrative, to be equipped with a beam saber, a testament to the coordinator's impressive analytic abilities and technical powers. The necessary data on the mobile suit itself was obtained and immediately put into operation by the ace pilot. For the collection of combat data, the BLITZ Gundam was thus put into battle against the Strike Gundam and the Archangel team. One particularly memorable moment was when the Archangel took refuge in the space fortress Artemis. This fortress had an extremely strong defense function and was able to withstand attacks from the Soft Army. However, the BLITZ Gundam used the Mirage Colloid to stealthy approach and destroyed the enemy's defense system. This event proved the developmental goals of the BLITZ Gundam to be correct, though it was a sad irony that this was proven under enemy command after the Gundam was stolen. Afterward, it continued to fight alongside its comrades against the Archangel team. However, it was unable to defeat the Strike Gundam. The BLITZ Gundam, which excels in stealth operations, struggled when the enemy was aware of its presence. In battles against other forces than the Archangel team, it worked brilliantly alongside other Gundams. A standout moment was when it, along with its allies, annihilated the Earth Alliance's 8th Fleet. During the chaotic battle, it used the Mirage Colloid to approach an enemy battleship and incapacitate the command room with a single blow. In battles on Earth, it used the Gale subflight system to fly and fight valiantly. However, it lost its right arm. In combat with the Strike, ultimately it was destroyed while attempting to rescue the Aegis Gundam in a dire situation. With that, the BLITZ Gundam exited the world of Gundam Seed. However, its impact and the data collected from its operations continued to play a significant role. Firstly, the death of its pilot, Nicola Amalfi, had a considerable influence. His father, Yuri Amalfi, was a military officer on the National Defense Committee who was passive towards the war. However, upon learning of his son's death, he became aggressive towards the war, deciding to provide his managed nuclear technology and weapons to extremist forces. This led to the development of the neutron jammer killer, a technology that eventually fell into the hands of the Earth Alliance, exposing the coordinator-inhabited planet to the threat of nuclear missile attacks. Of course, as everyone knows, this technology was later used in the Freedom Gundam and Justice Gundam, significantly contributing to the end of the war. Furthermore, the White Arm and Trikeros Cat, off by the Strike Gundam, were retrieved by the Orb Army and used in a machine known as the Gundam Astray Gold Frame. In addition, the operation data of the Trikeros greatly influenced Saft's mobile suit development. The Guizam mainstream mass-produced mobile suit of the time was equipped with a weapon inspired by the Trikeros, the shield used by the Providence Gundam. In the final decisive battle also used data from the Trikeros, effectively combining the functions of a shield, a beam saber, and a beam cannon. The BLITZ GUNDAM continued to make significant contributions even after disappearing from the narrative, much like its use of Mirage Colloid to vanish and still play a vital role. The parallel is quite striking. That wraps up our discussion about the BLITZ GUNDAM, the Mirage Colloid technology, central to the development of beam sabers, and many other elements of the Gundam Seed universe. Certainly made a strong impression. It's a sad reality, however, that this technology is used so extensively despite being banned by international treaties. The world of Gundam Seed is one where Nodos and coordinators harbor deep hatred for each other, and indiscriminate attacks on civilians are conducted without hesitation. The development of the GAT-X series, including the BLITZ GUNDAM, significantly changed this world. It was an incredibly tragic moment when a young boy like Maki, who loved playing the piano, became a casualty of war. What aspects of the BLITZ GUNDAM do you like? I particularly admire the unique thruster covers on its back. They sort of resemble rubber discs, which I find endearing. Now, allow me to share some important information with you. The subscribe button you see on your screen acts as the activation switch for the Mirage Colloid stealth system. By pressing it, you can engage in covert operations. How will you use this power? I sincerely hope your actions contribute to peace for everyone. Let's meet again in the next episode.